All right, the chair will call this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners together February 2026. First item on our agenda is to approve of multiple sets of minutes that have been finally completed. Not through any fault of Janet's. It's just that she's been very, very busy with the subcommittees trying to put together their minutes, and we've only got one gal doing all this stuff. So in any event, motion to approve. Okay, we're going to second by Commissioner Levitt. Are there any amendments or changes to the minutes? Okay, and all those in favor of adoption, give by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the vote unanimous. Okay, we got Diane next. Diane, you here? Oh, she's on the phone. I want to talk about the solar possibilities on the county property. Do we have an update from?
Do you want me to bring that in, or?
Do you want to go over that now?
If you give me just a minute, I can make you copies because.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just do that.
Well,
Or
but why don't you just say this? You just spoke to those folks again out there in East.
I haven't since this, because
Yeah.
they did, I mean, I don't know how you wanna.
Well, I like this. I think we ought to see the information first before we can talk about it. So why don't you just get it to us? Okay, and then we'll look it over and I'll put it on the next week's agenda. How's that sound? I knew that I wanted it on the agenda because I wanted to make sure that this thing was still moving forward in some form. So, okay, so, all right, we'll do that. So you just get us the information, we'll read it.
Oh,
And then I'll make sure it's put out on the website so that. Would you like a copy of it, Susan?
yeah,
Okay,
I've been following it.
yeah, you have that. Yeah, so I'll get you a copy. Okay. Item 3 is an update on the GTS Associates Unitil and Eversource incentives. I just got an email this morning from Doug saying that that report hasn't been complete yet. Okay, so it'll probably be on a future agenda either next week or the week after. But it hasn't been complete. So we're still waiting on it. Okay, Ray, you want to talk about the update on the subcommittees?
So far, all 4 subcommittees have met. And all 4 subcommittees have approved the commissioner's proposed budget. 2 subcommittees added money. General government added about $24,000, which is money that we had, or I had recommended be cut in regards to the enhanced training of the replacement for Lynn Tor. And consequently, the final numbers for the revenue for deeds came in. Of course, remember when we put the budget out, we have November numbers and estimate. There was a much better December. So I suggested to the subcommittee that we add the $24,000, or that I ask
Offset by
the
road.
revenue committee to add the $24,000. I got it partway out and didn't realize Representative Miller, who was chairman of the general government subcommittee, was present, and he completed the request.
Okay.
And it was voted unanimously to add that $24,000. It actually
It's budget neutral.
I'm sorry.
It's budget neutral.
Well,
Potentially it could be budget.
it's budget neutral from what the commissioners have proposed. You know, from the commissioner's proposed budget. Representative Harrington made the motion to add the money, and then he voted against the budget. So. But that was a one no vote. And there was 2 no votes on the Riverside budget.
Okay.
But both, the budget still passed.
All right.
As proposed.
All right, okay. Well, thanks for that, Ray.
Thank you.
Questions? All right, we got a list of upcoming events, there are more subcommittee meetings, and, we're gonna have a long-term care study committee tomorrow as well. Okay, is there any older new business?
We still haven't gotten, on that subcommittee, there was a promise, by Representative Potenza that she had like
Right,
30 pages of documentation to support, her last piece of information, and she was gonna provide that, but
haven't got it.
we haven't gotten it. I don't know if she sent it to the balance of the subcommittee or not.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just wait to see what they have to say. All right, you have any older new business to talk about? I- Doug, thank you for your work on the Unitil and Eversource incentives. I know we're still waiting for a final report on that, and we'll be talking there at some point.
Excellent. Yeah, that's correct. I've asked to have it pushed off until a future date. Initially, when this study was done, that was in June of last year.
Yeah,
And with many of these incentives and rebates expiring at the end of this year, some of these projects, the engineering and lead time is going to be in excess of a year. So we've basically taken those off the table. So I've asked GDS for a finalized and updated report.
yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Any other older new business to talk about? Just one quick thing for the record, because I've been asked by several, the city councilors in a different variant committees. The county commissioners let the contract to Hutter a few weeks ago. That was as a result of a recommendation by the city managers and mayors for the construction of a warming center. Warren Street has indicated to us it's gonna be a 6 to 8 week lead time that they need in order to put together a set of plans based on a concept plan. And they'll have that to us in 6 to 8 weeks.
Could I just mention that, there was a lot of contention about Warren Street and the nursing home project.
Yeah.
Hutter's the one that picked Warren Street, not us.
That's correct.
I just want to make sure that's
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
That we didn't, when Hutter submitted their proposal, we had no idea that they had teamed up with Warren Street.
Right. Yeah. Well, I still think Warren Street's a decent outfit.
I'm not,
Yeah. I know, you just want to make sure that.
I just want to make sure that it's clear that we didn't run out and hire Warren Street, that was Hutter's choice.
Right. So anyway, back to it, I was discussing we won't have a set of documents that are capable of being reviewed by inspections between 6 and 8 weeks. So we got a ways to wait. Okay.
But there's still a commitment by Hutter to have
Have it done by November.
have it done by November.
Right. And there were some other questions that had come up. We had determined that we don't need an AOT, which is an alteration of terrain permit. That was in Hutter's initial presentation. That's why they said they thought it was only take 14 months. But the state has now indicated that we don't need that. So that's going to shorten up the time build the building. So the building gets constructed quicker. That's what I'm basically trying to say, which is a good thing. Okay. Any other little business, anybody? No? All right, questions or comments from the public regarding the agenda? You had a question for us, Susan, today?
Yep, did you guys award the contract for the women's shelter and when did you do that?
We came out of an executive session on the 30th, I believe it was the 30th. After having a lengthy discussion with Hutter regarding the details of the contract.
Yeah, it was in negotiation.
Right, we were in negotiation with them. We came out of executive session on the 30th.
And you don't have to get any other approvals from the delegation to do this?
No.
Really?
No,
Interesting.
no,
Okay, so, at one of the meetings last week, last Friday, don't mean to step on your toes, Ray, but you had mentioned the fact that probate is leaving here and going to the district court in Rochester.
Potentially, yeah, well, that's the plan.
That's the plan. So that's a revenue source that has to be accounted for in this year's budget, yes or no?
Well, they're not leaving till October.
End of October
End of
is the
October.
current, and we didn't budget for an increase in the lease. So there will be some shortage. It gets a little complicated because it's simultaneous with them leaving, which is 29% of the lease, 71% is upstairs. So, and we are getting a 3% increase effective July 1st.
So, yeah, so it would.
So we-
It won't have an effect, yeah, it won't have an effect on this year's budget.
Well, it'll have an effect on this year's budget, but it'll have the largest effect on next year's budget.
Right, right.
So I hadn't intended on asking for any change in this year's budget.
And yeah, I'm assuming we didn't budget did you budget for the 3%?
I did not.
I did not, okay.
How many square foot do they occupy? And
That's a good question. I don't know, do you know, Doug, you have to talk?
I know.
Oh, okay, all right.
The total is, and I'm rounding these numbers off, the total is 36,000 square feet for both. 21,000 is upstairs.
15,000.
So the balance is down here.
so they're actually two separate,
Well, it's one lease, but it's
One
good.
lease, but they take up 2 floors.
that's what, two separate locations.
Right, so they're basically in the center of the building on this.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't realize that they had stuff
They have all upstairs.
all upstairs.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm just a little, like, the state does weird things, but.
Yeah, the state
It's
does
kind of weird that, usually in your county seat, you keep your probate, your
Right.
registry of deeds and your courts together.
Yeah.
And when they discussed doing the district court in Rochester, and I could easily have this wrong, I thought that was just the district court. I didn't realize that they had all this extra space and that meaning the county was gonna lose that to Rochester.
It was never
Was-
discussed
it
with
was-
us.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Was it ever discussed? And-
Never.
Nope, they created a family court. And when they created this family court, they decided to roll probate into it. Which.
I'm not seeing the connection there, but
Well, the connection, the connection is. The biggest problem with it is that a lot of what probate does ties in with the registry of deeds. Because
understand.
there's property that's involved in a lot of these cases. So normally, the reason why probate was right across the hall from registry of deeds was because once the decision was made, you could just go back across the street and take care of your problem, and that would be it, but. For whatever reason, the state does what they do, they somehow they figure this is cheaper. But.
It would have been nice
Keep it
if,
for that.
it would have been nice if there was some discussion even as the building was being planned,
Right,
that was their intention, and I made that known
yeah,
when they came down to see me, but obviously,
and
the
they're,
people that came to see me to negotiate the lease certainly aren't the ones that have made the decisions.
and that's the fine line we want, because you can't charge them so much rent. That it's cheaper for the state to build a new building.
Mhm.
Then you'd have a monument to justice out here. I don't know what we would do with those courtrooms up there. I mean, we'd have to spend some dough to do something else with them. Make them available for some other use.
well, I'm just trying to think ahead of
Yeah,
what we could use that for, if we could get another tenant, or if there's something else.
yeah, well, that's, that's the discussion for.
But you gotta have the handicap that the building can only be open from 8 to 4 because of security reasons.
Right, I
So
mean,
that
there's a lot of, yeah,
there's a lot of restrictions on
yeah,
tenants here.
yeah, there sure is.
And you know, I haven't. I've sent them the proposal, you know, the 3%, and 3% down the road for them, for the Superior Court to remain here, but I haven't gotten any response back from them yet. I haven't gotten any definitive date back from them yet. I don't have any documents back from them yet. So I haven't pursued, you know, what else we might be able to do with
The space.
with the other space. You know, it seems to me that one of the things that I was going to pursue was to determine if the Superior Court might need an extra courtroom.
Right.
And that would take up,
Yeah.
you know, not half the space, but probably 40% of the space down here. I mean, that was my first plan. And and then we would see, you know, we would go from there.
That's the problem, you know, as you know, right, they need to pay a judge to sit there.
Well, that's part of
That's part of the other problem.
that's part of the other problem is I think they have the caseload. They don't have
They don't have
judge, they don't have the judges.
And they don't have a budget to support it. So that's all, we ran into that problem in the past. And then
But I thought it was worth a try. I mean.
yeah, I mean, then we built the third courtroom up here, we built the third one
Yeah.
up for them. When they did finally get a judge,
Right now, we're down to 2 judges.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And it just depends on how they want to decide how to operate courts.
what's the likelihood of the registry of deeds vacating? I mean, if probate vacated, what are they gonna do?
Well, the registry of deeds can't probate, can't vacate without the county commissioners agreeing to some plan. So they're gonna be there, and, you know, we'd have to pay rent. If they vacate, they have to go somewhere, you'd have to pay for that. There's no
So-
reason for us to do that.
I guess I.
Yeah.
So how could probate leave?
Probate's a state up around,
Okay, I get
it's
you.
a
I
state
get you,
run.
get you. Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with the county. The old system was much better. The old system was so much better. But, you know, everybody thinks they can improve things that.
Is there another like social service agency that needs space? Can we start putting out some feelers for them or?
Yeah, we had Cap
Another-
here, but Cap moved out, and went downtown, because they wanted to be downtown. Most of the social service agencies now wanna be,
They wanna be with the people.
they wanna be where the hospitals are and close to the hospitals. You know, something will come up, something will happen.
well, I hadn't really put out any information until I get something in writing from the
Right.
state.
Yeah, and just because they say they're leaving in October. I know what happened in Rockingham with their new courthouse. They were supposed to be moved in. They had a 6-month delay in moving in, so I don't. You know, anything the state does takes forever.
Well, stop and think about Rockingham County. In my lifetime, they've had 3 courthouses. They were in Exeter, and they moved
Yep.
to Brentwood and then back to Epping. So, you know, that's. We stayed stable by being here from what, 1973? This
Yeah.
was built.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rockingham. The real crime is the taxpayers in Rockingham County never paid for the courthouse. The state paid for their courthouse. The taxpayers of Strafford County paid for this courthouse. But Rockingham had enough political muscle to get the state to pay for this. So I like that. Okay, so we
I'm
paid.
a Rockingham kid, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, happy about that, huh? Yeah. Well, anyway, it's on the radar screen, Susan, that's the.
I said I'm a Rockingham kid, but as an adult, I'm a Strafford County person, so.
Yeah,
So I'm just waiting for a definitive answer, boss, from,
I get it.
I,
I'm not I'm not too concerned about it now, because like I said, it takes them 6 months usually, whatever they get a date, it's always 6 months later. But it's something we're certainly gonna have to think about. I mean, we moved the sheriff's department around, the sheriff's department's in the basement, we moved the sheriff's department here. 1, 2, 3 times since I've been here.
Well, 4-H used to be here, the Conservation District.
District used to be here, yeah, yeah, we've had. The county attorney, we had expanded the county attorney's office, so we've done a lot of kinds of things, so we'll see how it goes, it might all work out. They'll all work out one way or another, but the social service end of it is difficult. That's the difficult.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll put some nursing home beds in there, Ray, and they can.
Well, actually, we could just revamp the top two for something,
Yeah, we can figure out something down the road,
a warming center.
there you go, the wellness center in here,
Instead of paying what we're paying for ones.
yeah. Well, anyway, you got any other questions, Susan? We gotta get into executive session, we get a lot of personal stuff we're gonna do. Girl said girl. Man,
I'll just save them for another day.
yeah,
You seem rather agitated today.
I'm tired, that's all. We got a lot to talk about this time, so. All right. Okay, so Chair, let's entertain a motion and to go into non-public session, purposes of personnel and contract negotiations, which are never ending. Okay. Second. Okay, roll call, Commissioner Feliciano.
Aye.
Commissioner Levitt, myself, yes, okay, the Commissioner retired in non-public section.